Good morning. It's Tuesday, February 23rd. Start out looking at a 4-hour chart. This maps the bullish move since our low of 1802.50. Guess it's worth talking about this a little bit. Our first move was an extension from the top to the top. Our next move was and we had first and second targets that were made and well beyond. Our second move was another extension move from top to top, long, that, let's go ahead and extend this, that caught this low after the gap had occurred. However, after that, we started using the top of the gap for moves. And the first one, let's get that out of the way. The first one that was caught was the 1881.25, which caught this bar and essentially went to first and second targets and beyond. That was reused again here to catch the low on Friday and to project 1949.61. So the only thing that will explain the low overnight is pretty much a non-standard traditional using the bottom of the second bar, which is common. The 3 points that are common to use are the bottom of the first bar, the bottom of the second bar, and the top of the first bar. So really, we're not going to find an explanation for what's going on in the 4-hour time frame, is what this is telling us. Key thing is we never reached the 1949. And if we go to the 15-minute, we'll see yesterday's movement as the attempt of the helper moves in the 15-minute on the right side, attempting to make this goal. They basically tried all day until giving it up into the close. Honestly, the expectation would have been, for me, a deeper retracement. The most aggressive would have been this move, an extension off of the traditional, either from here or we did the one from this point, or from here. Or finally, using this traditional from this point. Oh, we've already covered that. Okay. And this would have been a second extension. So either here or here, none of those happened. So let's go to the 15-minute. Now I've left a lot of moves on here and added some. We had to look for an explanation in the 15-minute for this overnight low. So this one was not here originally, so let's take it out. All we had is here. You can see that this traditional doesn't explain it. We're at 2375 and we only got to 2450. So that doesn't work. We can see yesterday we started using the bottom of this gap, which didn't show up on the 4 hour. But essentially we had a gap. I wouldn't call it a gap down because it basically just came back into here. But when it opened on Sunday, from where it had closed, there was a gap down. And so this was where we picked up yesterday. And that's why I kept referring to this as pretty much a mess. We had this move here that was basically a traditional. And then we started using this big bar. In the overnight, we had these two big bars. We started using the top of this bar to explain first this low. So we had first an extension off that big bar that explained this low in the overnight. And then we had first and second targets. The first time we came in and used the extension from here to pass the second target, and this one was used to push price. And then finally we had this as a potential catch overnight with an extension from same anchor to new high. Actually, that would have been to the top. Try it one more time. You can see that was working into the close, but failed in the overnight. And basically that's the Asian and the European markets initially. The Asian market, the Shanghai, which is the only one I'm looking at, I don't really care about the Hang Seng, is down 0.8, and the DAX at this point is down about 0.9. So we didn't get really deep cutbacks there. So let's get rid of these. And that leaves us with this kind of jagged moves. Well, in a sense, I guess we corrected these by coming back to this point so far. So let's remove this. Well, actually, let's just hide it for now. I'd like to retain those. And we'll remove this. Okay, now we need a little bit development of this long, or short, I should say. Let's see what we got going here. Well, the all the way halfway back has been violated. So we have some up moves here. Let's see if that works. Nope. Let's use that. And let's see, that doesn't appear like it's going to work either. Nope. So there we go. Right now we're honoring the all the way halfway back long, which projects, taking us back into this bigger resistance. And you can see this bigger resistance is what's contained price yesterday and preventing us from going into that 1949.65. I'm going to take a brief pause on this, and I'm going to bring in another chart that shows essentially the Ferris price that have developed off the original. Let's go to the 4-hour. Off of this entire measured move from here to here. I know this is a bit long-winded, but this is the same 15-minute chart shown on a 30 minutes. That number one, I've taken it just to intraday, which shows two gaps, a gap here and a gap here and another gap here. So those are anomalies. We show from Friday an 11 wide Ferris price, which is a wide one. And then we show from back on this measured move off of the 1802 all the way up, a 7 on a date, another 7, and I'm not going to say which date, and then a 9, which is a fairly wide. So the number of anomalies on this V-shaped move is a lot, and that's what's kept me respecting the short side. Now, finally, it's hard to see here. Let's draw this in. Yesterday's was as wide as you can get. It was 14 wide. So I'm assuming that that's what's keeping us close. And so the order that things happen will be fairly important today. If we come up and touch this and fail from here, we're going to end up drawing back more, I believe. Nothing is guaranteed, but I believe that we'll draw back more. And I think current prices, although it doesn't show on this, is down in this area right here. So that would be wherever we are between here and there. We'd have to draw back quite a bit to hit that. So we'll see what happens. Or the other order is we could go down deeper and pick up another 4-hour move long at some point. And that would leave this up here untouched, which would draw things back. So we'll just watch the order today. The other thing I want to go back to is the 4-hour real briefly and talk about longer term what's going on here. Okay, so here's our measured move. Originally we had this short here that caught this move right here. So I'm going to talk about price discovery again. Now, it's not showing on here, but this is into support. Both of these moves are into support. So what we have is basically a huge price discovery going on. We had this long, this short, this long. So 3 transits. I normally show these in over weeks here now. So we have this original measured move down, which we are really still respecting. Slightly different points. You can see we failed here immediately. The failure was immediately into here. Yesterday we saw we tested a bit more into here, and our price is going back up right now into this resistance again. So in terms of the possibility of touching this first and failing, that leaves that possibility open. So in the longer term, the difference between going lower, whoops, which this particular measured move, if honored, if this resistance hold, brings up the 1738.19, and going higher, essentially breaking this halfway back on this long and traveling somewhere, we don't know how high, and going higher is building up cause with these big moves up and down. Normally we see these on the 15 minutes. This can be considered that price is fair within this area, basically over 100-point area, 140-ish points, 130 to 40 points. So we know when this breaks, whichever way it breaks, it's probably going to break pretty good. But for now, all we know is that we're contained. Our price discovery is contained in this area, and we don't know whether we're going to go up or down. So I'll just go back to the 15-minute quickly and see where price is at the moment. Oh, we've gotten a pretty good move here. So the possibilities of hitting this first, and then if this holds, the possibility of a deeper retrace is possible. It's quite possible that this move will help us into this 1949. Algorithms don't give up easily, as we can see. This is a very aggressive catch from what I thought we would have. So the other alternative is this was the catch right here. And this is a 30-minute rather than a 15, but still illustrates what's going on. That wraps it.